Okay, welcome to a live. I hope everything is all good. I hope I have audio. If I don't, please let me know. I think I do. I'm using my camera. It's a whole new setup and I'm trying something new. So anyway, I have done one live before on YouTube. This is my second one and I really like going live because I feel like it's a bit of a two-way conversation between you and me and we can all get involved. Right now, I am sitting down with my whiteboard and I'm actually in the process of cleaning it because I wanted to have a little bit of a brainstorming session this afternoon. I've got Post-it notes, like in different colors. I've got my marker. If you want to participate in this reinvent yourself / change your life brainstorming session, then feel free to go and grab whatever you need now, pens, pencils, notebooks, whatever. And I'm just getting my whiteboard together so I can stick my Post-it notes to them. But what I wanted to do for today was to get some help, if you're willing to help me, come up with some ideas and some ways and things that we can try to reinvent yourself. So if you want to grab some stuff, I'm going to keep cleaning my whiteboard and I guess explain just a little bit about why I wanted to do this. So I don't know if anyone else is in the same phase that I'm in, but I find that I go through these phases maybe every year, sometimes a couple times a year, but mostly every year. At this point, I feel like it's been maybe about 2 years in the making. And also hi to everybody in the chat. If you've got any questions or want to share anything, just let me know. Also, if you are watching this later on, I will leave this live up on my channel. The last one did not happen, but this time I will. If you've missed it being live and you want to do more videos and things like this, then let me know and we can organize more times each month to do this. But yeah, so if you're just joining now, we're doing a brainstorming session. I am cleaning my whiteboard and I'm going to get in and start thinking about different ways I can start, reinventing myself and changing my life. But basically, what I was trying to explain was I feel like a couple times a year, maybe once a year, I feel like a bit of a shift and like a change coming. And at the moment, I feel like it's been about 2 years in the process, especially with, the world being like all in lockdown and everything that we've had to go through. It's starting to feel like we're coming out the other side, especially now that I got to travel recently. I was in Europe for 2 weeks and it was very smooth. There wasn't a lot of things that made me feel like we were still in a pandemic, which was really nice. Like a lot of the airports over there, you don't have to wear masks or anything. And it just felt like we were kind of getting back to normal just a little bit. So being away on my trip, I got to think a little bit about what I want to do when I get back and what I want to start working on. And basically, over the last 2 years, I've spent a lot of time going inward. I think a lot of people did the same during the pandemic. And I've been learning more about myself and how I function and the things that make me, and all in order to try to understand myself a little bit better and how to live a somewhat more fulfilling life. And it's still an absolute journey. I've been actually really quite anxious this week. Today is so much better. I'm like working through that. But basically, I just feel like this week it was like one chapter of my life finished. And now I feel like I'm moving into another chapter and I have no idea what this chapter holds. And I'm very excited about it. But I'm a little lost at the same time and I don't really know what to do next. So that's why I was like, maybe we can do this together. I would love to get some help. So just straight out, anyone else feeling like they're going through a bit of a transitional phase, that they're looking to change something, or I don't know, is anyone else on that same page? Or is it just me and I'm out here by myself? I don't know. But I am going to finish cleaning this little bit of, what do you call it? What is this? This is a whiteboard. I'm losing my train of thought already. Okay, so at least I'm not alone. I was wondering, I have a few areas of my life that come to mind when I think about like reinventing myself or like figuring out the type of life that I want to live or where I see myself going in this next, post-pandemic phase. Does anyone else have areas that come to mind? Because right now I'm thinking I'm just going to get as many ideas down, like different areas that you can kind of then further break down and, work on. So I'm just going to read the chat here. Oh, I'm so excited that you guys are all here. This is so much fun doing this together. Oh, and I'm so glad, Sarah says she's from the UK. I hope it's not too late. No, I think it's like about 9 p.m. I thought this time would be maybe good for everybody. It's kind of start of the morning in Australia. It's the afternoon here on Eastern time, and it's like the evening or night time in the UK. And I feel like those are my 3 main points that I try to manage my time for. So Laura says that she's just signed a contract to transfer to a different department to work from home. Shady has said, definitely not just you. I've been feeling the same way for about a year. Okay, yay. I am so glad. Oh, hi to Greece. I had the best time when I was there 2 weeks ago. It was amazing. I think the sound is working. I think it's coming through. I'm using my camera, so I don't know. I have it plugged in. I don't know. I Googled it yesterday. I'm trying something new. We've got traveling more. Can't wait to get my degree and start doing that. 100% the same. Last year of college. Hi to South Africa. Okay. Mind, body, spirit. Love it. All these things. So I'm trying to think about where to start. I feel like I should have maybe come into this maybe just a little more prepared. I have different color Post-it notes just because I felt like being fun and bright. I was going to go and get more from Staples, but my friend gave these to me this afternoon. So I'm actually really stumped on this. This is why I wanted to do this live. I don't really know where to start. I think maybe the first area that always comes to mind whenever I think about like reevaluating my life and like where I'm going is always like my job and my career. I feel like it's maybe a little like cliche, but a huge portion of our life is dedicated to a career and a job and trying to survive. So I feel like that's always a good one to start with. I love that Laura has just said maybe write down what makes you happy. I was having a discussion with one of my friends yesterday about vision boards. I made a vision board a couple of months ago and I really didn't know what to put on it. And then she sort of suggested this almost like happiness tracker and like creating some sort of system to track when you're feeling really good and like centered and balanced and everything's easy, to write down what it is that is kind of contributing to that feeling so that when you feel off or anxious or out of sorts, you can always refer back to it. Don't know why I've never thought of that before, but I was like, that is absolutely genius. And I would love to come up with some kind of, I don't know, if like doing that. So wait, where are we? I got out of this. Okay. So I've got a little Post-it note. I got a pink one for career. I just realized that my camera's, I think it's okay. It's just being a little weird. We're going to stick that down. All right. Anyone else got any other areas of their life that they feel like I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like it's, I feel like my morning routine's a pretty big one for me, Like I like to think about how I'm getting up each day, how I'm setting myself up for the day. I no longer believe in these perfect, super healthy, do 10 million thing morning routines. I don't think they're realistic. And I think sometimes it can almost set you up for failure when you don't achieve all of those things, like have your lemon water and meditate and journal and exercise and do 10 million things. That's just not really possible. I think a healthy morning routine involves maybe 2 to 4 things that you can do consistently just to keep you in that like base routine so that you kind of have a direction to each day rather than floundering around. Laura says, have you heard of level 10 life? I haven't. I'm actually not sure what that is. I only have 2. No, I have 1. I only have 1 blue Post-it note left. Let's make this. Jula says creativity and hobby. I like that because for a few years there, I literally had no hobbies. And it was during 2020 when I was stuck at home all the time that I started to develop some new hobbies. And I thought that was a huge thing that was missing from my life. And lately I've been thinking about some other things that I might want to try and get into. If you've been following me on Instagram, the last 4 days I've uploaded reels of just kind of random stuff that I don't normally do. And the first one the other day, I was out with my friend Liz and we played some tennis and some basketball. And I played netball for a very long time as a teenager. And I guess I still have some of like the shooting skills. And so I can sometimes just get like shot after shot after shot when I'm like shooting in a basketball hoop because it's much larger than a netball hoop. And I'd completely forgotten about that. Like I'd forgotten that that was something that I liked a long time ago. And it made me think maybe I should get back into playing some sports or maybe netball. I think they do have teams here, but it's not as big as it is in Australia. Like netball is a very big, like women's based sport in Australia. So I like that, creativity and hobby. I'm going to write that one down. Create and hobby. And I just realized I don't actually have a marker. I'm using a whiteboard marker, which is great. So now I can write on both of them. We can write on the board. We can write on the Post-it notes. It's perfect. Netball is it's primarily a women's based sport. It has 2 hoops down either end. The court is set into quarters. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players at one time. It's a non-contact sport, or at least it's not supposed to be. Someone really hurt me when I was at university and I got knocked over. And you actually can't dribble the ball, you can't run with the ball, you can't move, and it's like a ball passing game and you got to get it in the hoops. And I loved it when I was a teenager. I was good at it and I just totally forgot that that was something that I liked. And I feel like maybe moving forward, that can be part of my creativity and hobbies and things that I can have, in my life. So I'm going to catch up on the chat again for a second. Laura is explaining that level 10 life helps you get a better understanding of how you feel about the different areas of your life and where to focus. I like that. Maybe that is something I should look into because that sounds like kind of where I'm at and what I'm trying to do today in this live. Just figure out different areas I want to focus on and think about how I can move forward in a better way. I think that keeping track of everything comes to a point of getting tired. I agree. Try to do 3 to 4 things such as eating healthy, fitness, work, leisure time, and hobbies. Yeah, I think sometimes we get overwhelmed that we have to do everything. And to be really honest with you, the entire purpose of this live isn't really to come up with the answers today. I've taken a lot of time in the last 2 years to look at the content that I used to make on social media and how I feel now. And I feel like a lot of it was just you have to do everything today and these are all the answers and it's the right way to do it and just do it this way. And I don't know, it just doesn't really align with who I am anymore. And I'm trying to take my time a little bit more and feel it out. Like I'm trying to listen more to myself. To give an example of this, back during the pandemic, now this is going to sound like something really silly, but I did this work with my coach and it's something that I could take from such a simple situation and apply it to some of the more deeper, complex situations in my life. And basically it was at the time the iPhone 12 was being launched and I hadn't got a new phone in 4 years and I wanted to upgrade. I used to have the large one and then they also just had the regular Pro, not the Max, and I was torn on which iPhone to get. This sounds so ridiculous, but I was torn for weeks on this. I asked all of my friends which ones they would get. I actually asked, I think in a YouTube video or in a YouTube post. I definitely know that some of you contributed to telling me what you would do, and I got so overwhelmed because I had so many different answers. And as I was working through this weird little thing with my coach, I came to this realization that sometimes you can't hear yourself. You just, there's so much noise from everyone else and then you can't hear yourself, and then you're unable to make decisions or move forward or whatever. And that was about October, like a year and a half ago. Ever since then, I've now started to like slow down a little bit and check in with myself and be like, what do I actually feel? Am I being influenced by other people? Am I being influenced by friends, family, what I see on social media? Is there a lot of noise going on and I'm not really like listening to myself? So that's something that I learned. That's now my sort of new approach to living my life. And I'm learning that I don't have to have all the answers in a day. I don't have to have everything figured out today. So this live stream is fun, but I may not get the results that I'm looking for out of this. It's just part of the process. Everything's a process. And I wanted to share this process with you guys. And I wanted to hear what other people have in mind when they think about reinventing themselves, or what areas of their life they like to focus on when they're looking to push themselves in a new direction. So back to the chat, there are a lot of you from France and Germany. Yes, I still live in Canada. And good morning to Australia as well. I know that you're all waking up now. I was in the same situation and I decided to study a new subject from Morocco. Amazing. I love that. I love that. I have a massive collection of books and I didn't have the time to read during my previous job. So I gathered a bunch and wrote them all down, put them next to my bed, and I'm reading the shortest first. I love that. I think that's a good way to like tackle a problem kind of thing that you have. I've got Ireland, Sweden, Toronto. Hey, how beautiful is the weather today? I hope tomorrow is amazing. Hello to Vancouver, Italy, Bulgaria. Like, oh my God, there's so many of you all over. But yeah, so anyways, back to my little post-it notes. My yellow one isn't sticking. I'm gonna rewrite it because it's bugging me. Morning routine. And I'm also happy to have an excessive amount of areas of life, because if I have all of these ideas from you or whatever comes to my mind, I don't have to focus on all of them, right? I get to have a whole board full of different areas of your life, and then I get to choose what works for me. You get to choose what works for you. That's another really big thing I've learned in the last couple of years. There's just no one like approach to everything. Everybody's different. HJ said trust. My partner has me moving interstate, just us, which was never the plan of mine, but I believe he's in my life and leading me there for a reason. Who knows what the new state will bring? It's kind of exciting. I've had some friends move lately where they weren't really sure about if that's where they wanted to move, and it's all just part of the process. I'm also learning too that with moving, it doesn't have to be permanent. It feels permanent. It can be a little intimidating, but it's really not, especially now that the world's opening up and things are getting a lot easier to move around. Lorraine has asked, how do you view changing career during this time? I think it's an interesting time. I can't say for sure if I think it's a good time or a bad time, but I do think that things have shifted a little bit from the pandemic, and before things get like well and truly back into the swing of things, now might be a good time to explore and experiment, because I feel like we're sort of all easing back into life, and I feel like in a year everything's just going to be back to full steam ahead, if you know what I mean. I would love to do an internship in Spain, and my fiance doesn't want me to move to Spain for a year and would rather me stay in Ireland, which breaks my heart. Breaks my dreams. I have a question for you and your fiance. Is it possible to, like, you know, if you guys are like, yep, this is it, we're perfect for each other, is there room to spend time apart for a little bit and be flexible? I mean, it's not in the scheme of things really that far apart. And I only say that because coming from Australia, the rest of the world is so far apart. So something like that to me doesn't seem too difficult, but I understand for people who live in Europe, things can seem a lot further than someone who literally lives on the other side of the world. So is that something that could be a possibility? it's so interesting that like you bring that up, and I saw something else like with moving and partners and stuff. I just find that really interesting because I'm just going through a phase right now where I'm like, I have to move. And by move, I mean like I just kind of have to like do a little bit of traveling. I have to explore. And I've decided to put any dating or anything completely on the back burner because it's just not where I'm at. And if I were to come across someone, I would like the ability for us to have room for each other to I don't know, do what it is that we got to do, figure life out. I hope that makes sense. Lisa is in the middle of a career change, having been accepted into college to do a degree and a course in media studies. That's really exciting that you've done that. I think I'm getting really hot. When I get hot, I get red and flustered, and it's really hot in here today, and I turned the air conditioning off because it was kind of noisy. Anyways, so a little bit of a sidetrack. I'm going to get back to some of these areas. I think someone said another area. What brings joy? Actually, you know what? I'm going to write that down. It's a little out there, but I'm going to write that down. I actually really like that. Let's go pink. All right, what brings joy? Let me put a little question mark on that one. I think that's a good area to, because it could be anything, right? Whereas creativity is, important. I'll put the blue one in the middle. Creativity and hobbies are fun things, right? But you can get joy out of like mundane tasks and like your job and all these, different things. Come on, Post-it notes, please just stick. You're so annoying. Okay. There's always so much pressure, I feel, as like being around 30. I feel like there's a bit of a shift. I'm 32 in a couple of months. Actually, what's today's date? 1 day less of 2 months, and I will be 32. And I feel like there's been a lot of pressure. And I think part of why I'm doing this right now as well is because during the pandemic, I don't know what it was. It was partially the pandemic. For whatever reason, it was the United States election. And then it was seeing how each government around the world was trying to deal with this thing. And it made me realize that no one has any idea what they're doing in life. Like the people that we're supposed to look for guidance have no idea, which then made me realize that just your average people have no idea. And I actually watched a fantastic video this morning, and I made lots of notes. I don't know how to share it. I wonder if I can find it. Actually, you know what? After this live, I will leave it in the description. But it just kind of made me realize, I was like, nobody knows what they're doing. And I don't know if I like this like pressure that comes from friends, family, society, or whatever to live a certain way, which takes me back to the point of trying to listen more about what I want, because I'm the most happiest and content and least anxious when I'm like listening to like what I feel deep inside, opposed to trying to make myself feel or act a certain way because I think I should. And it's been like a constant battle over the last year or so, trying to deal with which way to do things. And so that's actually one of the deeper reasons as to why I'm doing this as well. I'm going to put down a slightly more superficial area. I'm going to put down like appearance and style, because I think a lot of people express themselves through their wardrobe and the way they do things. And the other day, also again, if you've been following me on Instagram, I'm trying all new things over there. I'm in an experimental phase. And I tried a new outfit, a hairstyle, and then I was filming some reels for my friend's studio, all things that just aren't normally me, and it was so much fun. I got to show up feeling like a totally different character, and that made me think, like, who do I want to be? Who do I want to show up as, and how do I want to express myself on the outside? Because that was really fun, and I liked getting out of my comfort zone in that regard. So I'm going to put appearance, and I'm going to say style. I feel like I can't spell today, but I think I'm doing okay. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. You put this one here. Anyone else got any other areas of life that they think would be interesting to reevaluate? We've got 5 areas so far. Actually, you know what? Considering we are having a massive discussion about people moving, and I'm going to add 2 more. We've got moving and like education. So I'm going to say location as another area. I don't know why, but every time I write a word, I'm like, that doesn't look like that's how that's spelled, but I guess it is. If I have any mistakes, I'm very like, I like to make sure that things are spelled correctly. I Google things all the time. If I've misspelled anything, I apologize. What are we talking? Location and education. Okay, we're making some progress. Tracy is currently reading The Power of Now, and it has helped me so much so far. I'm trying to figure out my life lately as well. It really helps me quiet the stress in my mind and see what I want clearly. I love that. I've heard of that before. I don't know much about it, so I'm going to quickly do a Google. Book, right? Yep. Power of Now. Oh, yes, of course. I do know what that is. I've never read it, but I'll add that to the list. I'm really bad with self-help books. It sometimes stresses me out a little bit, so I have to really be in a mood for it. I've been reading novels lately, and I'm up to my 4th one for this year, which I'm really excited about because I don't read. I haven't read a book in years, and I'm just really excited about that. Yes, self-care. That one's such a broad term. I don't know. I wish I had more blue post-it notes. I don't know. I mean, maybe we could break self-care down into self-care. I'm going to write it down, but what is self-care? I feel like there's always stuff on social media talking about self-care, but I don't know what it is. Like, I see things all the time being like, maybe it's like, I don't know, pampering yourself and having like face masks and all that sort of stuff, or sitting down with a nice book and a cup of tea. And I sometimes think that maybe that should just be part of our everyday life rather than being specifically about self-care. I don't know. I may be way off in that. Scheduling in time for your mental health and well-being. I think that's where that comes in. So I'm going to write that down. Look at my little thing. Isn't it cute? So excited about this. So wait, I got to make sure I don't lose that. Scheduling in time for your mental health. I literally cannot spell today. Scheduling in time. Pretty important with that. Resting intentionally is a pretty good one. I'm going to put that down there. Taking. One of the things that I've gotten back into is, it's so lame, Candy Crush. I used to play 10 years ago, and I had it signed up through Facebook, and then I re-downloaded it. I think I got to like level 200 and something like 10 years ago, re-downloaded it, started playing it about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I am now at level 900 and something. And I do it because it just literally zones me out, and it's really, really chill and relaxed, and I like it. I am going to, if anyone comes up with any more areas, let me know, but I think I might start breaking some of these areas down. Some of them I have absolutely no idea, but that's okay. I can think about this over the next week or two, and it can come to me. I feel like with the morning routine stuff, I really want to have like just a couple of key tasks, habits. What would you call that? Financial goals. That's a good one. We got to put that on the board. Even for even now. Okay. I'm totally doing two things at once. I got to make an actual area of finance, but I am trying to, like, am I trying to say morning routine habits? Is that what I'm trying to say? Like, making sure I have a couple of key habits, things, tasks that I do every day that can really just solidify, like, oh, I like that you can end up doing on autopilot, right? Let's go habits. Couple of key habits to do each day. And the reason I say this is because after you've been away, I feel like your morning routine kind of gets like thrown off a little bit. And I've been okay this week. I'm still waking up at like 5:45 to 6, which I love. It's the best part about jet lag is I get a whole new routine and it's really easy to maintain. So I'm very happy about that. But I got up this morning and I was super anxious and I was like walking around. I was really tired this morning for whatever reason, I don't know. And I was walking around and I was like, do I go to the gym? Do I make coffee? What do I do? And I feel like I was literally going in circles and I stood there like right here and I was like, what do I want to do right now? And I was like, I want to get my laptop and put it right here on my like dining table area. I want to make a coffee and I want to start, like I did a bit of journaling, but it was only because it wasn't like my thought process journal. It was because I watched a video and then I took notes on that video. And that is what I felt like doing. And I was like, that was my start of my day. Whereas yesterday, the first thing I did was get up and I went to the gym. So I don't know, that's two totally different morning routines, but I want to try and have just a few key things that I can just gravitate towards depending on the day. And I also don't believe that morning routines have to be the same every day anymore either. I think they can be different. Maybe you go to the gym straight away, maybe you don't go at all, whatever. I like that. Right, I was writing down finance. Yeah, Madeline's self-care is a category. We've already got that one down. Talk to your plants. I do it. It helps Bob, my cactus. He's a great listener. I love that. And I also love that your cactus's name is Bob. My cat's name is Barnaby and my mum calls him Bob. So very cute. Okay, I feel like we're making progress here, guys. I'm feeling my morning routine sticker is still not sticking. Anyway, so I'm gonna step back a little bit. This is what we got so far. Look at it, isn't it beautiful? Does this not just make your soul so happy? I love organizing. So these are the areas we have. Any other areas that we're vibing, we're thinking of, anything that we can break down. I love this. I feel like I'm getting so many ideas. This is exactly what I wanted to. Actually, I think we were going to put physical health on here and we didn't do that. Because that is obviously something, we only get one body. We don't really particularly want to run ourselves into the ground because, what's that saying? I don't know, you only have your health or something along those lines. What am I doing? I want to make this as color coordinated as possible. It's just what I do. This. And you're going to put this one down here. And we're going to put this one in here. Perfect. Spiritual, I think, is a great question. A great area. That's not usually my first thing I think of, but I know to a lot of people, their spiritual practices, religion, whatever, is an extremely important part of their life. And I think sometimes that might need some reevaluating too, or maybe you want to pick something up, learn something new. So hi to the Netherlands. I want to go back so bad. I had the best time in Amsterdam. I want to go back so bad. What am I doing? Health, physical health. Well, maybe mental health could have. Yeah, mental health's a big category and thing on its own. I'm gonna put this one in. Let's see. This one here, and this one over here. I'm having so much fun. I love doing this kind of stuff. I swear next time I make a vision board, I should do it here and we should all just do it together. I love like arts and crafts, like getting things out visually, planning, it's the best. Where are we up to? Self-care for category. Oh yeah, downloading apps to improve mental health and also apps to download for physical and nutritional health. That's actually a pretty good idea. Right, that's what I was doing. I was writing a mental health one down here. Mental health. I still feel like every time I write something, it looks like it's spelled incorrectly. I don't know why my brain is doing this right now. These yellow ones don't like sticking properly. It's frustrating me. I'm gonna see my phone on it. Put heads up on this one. What else put on? Tripod on these two. Just stick. Stay flat. Okay. Where are we up to? Oh, I love that you live near Amsterdam. Oh my gosh, Amsterdam's like the best city. So not last Sunday, but the Sunday before, it was raining a lot that day, but before it rained, I got up and I went and took myself out for breakfast, and then I wandered into the main shopping area. I did like a little bit of shopping, and I actually bought myself this little necklace in Amsterdam. It's a little star. It kind of looks like the, what do you call it, the North Star or whatever that is. But I bought this little gold necklace. I can't think of what the place is, but if I can find it on Google Maps, they had really beautiful little gold. Well, they actually had silver too, but I like gold. And I bought this, and it's actually really special to me because that day was my last full day in Europe and in Amsterdam, and I kind of spent the first half of the day on my own, just wandering around, doing my thing, and I was just in a really balanced, aligned, very happy place, and I was like, I want to remember this feeling, and so I got this necklace, and I think it's really pretty. So every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, think about how good and everything was. Okay, let's go through what I've got so far. Darcy says that I love reading so much I would have to make it a category. I love that. If you love reading that much and it's an area that you want to include, go for it. These yellow things just don't want to stick. Okay, so here we are. This is where we're at. These are the different areas. I've started to break some of them down. There's a couple. I'm really sad I only have one blue Post-it note. I want everything to be nice and color coordinated, but it's really not. Oh my goodness, come on, stick. Do the thing. So what have we got? We've got career, which I think is pretty, that was the first one. It's always a pretty standard place to reevaluate. Self-care, and then morning routine, or just like setting yourself up for the day in general. Location, because we had a pretty big discussion before about moving, and I live in a different country now, and I've been actually reevaluating where I'm living a lot lately too. I'm good in Toronto. I'm not leaving Toronto anytime soon, but that's actually a really important one that I probably wouldn't have thought of until this conversation. So thank you. Creativity and hobbies. This one's very, very important, which is why it's in blue. What brings you joy? This is another area I've been thinking about lately, about focusing on what brings me joy so that when I'm feeling off, I can come back to that. Mental health, which is super important. Physical health, super important. Finance, it's annoyingly important. And then appearance and style, and education as well, because there was a lot of chat about people starting new courses and things, which also I kind of want to go back and study a little. I don't know, I just like learning things or trying something different. just feel very inspired when I do that. So that's where I'm at. So these are the kind of areas I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going to focus on or how I'm going to be able to come up with a solution, but we're going to take it step by step. I'm taking some vitamin bottles and like some Tylenol to help these Post-its stick down. So anyways, I've been like on live for 40 minutes right now. So if you are just joining, basically we're breaking down areas of our lives to try and, I don't know, reinvent ourselves, change our lives, figure out what's next. And I don't know what I'm doing, which is why I'm here, because I wanted help. Oh, how to set boundaries. That is so good under mental health. That is something that I have had to learn to do in the last 2 years, and it's changed my life. Oh my goodness. I think part of the reason that I'm also doing this is because I feel like an entirely different person to where I was 1 year ago, and even more so to 2 years ago. Just before the pandemic, I decided to start working with a coach. Coaches sort of look to the future, and then I also started working with a therapist, and therapists dig through the past, and between the two of them, you're kind of covering all the different things, and totally changed my life. I am a different person, and part of why I want to do this is because I just feel like I'm kind of coming out the other end of it, and things are about to change, and I don't know what's happening. If anyone wants to take a picture of the board, I'm going to hold it up for a minute and keep telling my story, because this is good. This is good. Okay, so here's the board. Is it clear? Can you see it? Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, been a lot of like mental work in the last 2 years. Boundaries has to go under mental health. That is such an important thing. And if you're not great with setting boundaries, I would recommend pushing yourself to really give it a go. There's a lot of like educational resources on even YouTube, online, books, and all that sort of stuff. If you're in a position to do so, speaking with a therapist is fantastic for that, completely life-changing. So, if that's something that you want to really, if you want to step into, I'm that person that sets boundaries and doesn't feel guilty about it and doesn't worry about how it affects other people, obviously in a nice way as I say that, then yeah, that's definitely one that has to go on here, because it is life-changing. Are we good? Did everyone take a picture? I think we've taken a picture. We're good. If not, don't worry, you can come back to this. I will leave this live on my channel, so you'll be able to come back and screenshot or whatever you want to do afterwards. But boundaries, it's a big one. It has changed my life. I was such a people pleaser, and now I set boundaries, and it's great. At first, when you start to set boundaries, you do feel really guilty and you feel uncomfortable, and ugh. But your brain starts to adjust, and you learn that, hey, this is good, and it gets easier. So that's it. That's a good one. I like that. I'm gonna put one under mental health for my own personal experience in, I want to say, the last 3 months, but maybe more so even just the last month and a half, and that is communication. I kind of, a couple of years ago, ended up into a bit of like pushed into like a little, like this, I don't know how to explain it, but like this, and I didn't know how to communicate my needs, my feelings, what I wanted. Like, I'm doing this body language, and I know some of you know exactly what this feels like. Like, we've all been here. And in the last couple of months, I've been working on learning to come out of that and express myself, communicate what I want and what I need, doing it in a way that aligns with who I am. For me, that's a little bit more with like kindness, compassion, and respect of people around me. And it has been a really big game changer. It has been really hard to break through. But yeah, like communication and figuring out how you want to communicate with people and how that aligns with your values it's like, that's a game changer as well. So I'm going to put communication. And also, while we're at that too, I'm also going to put down values. This was something that I did back in 2020 with my therapist. He gave me some exercise sheets, and we worked through figuring out what I value. And one of the first shifts away from anxiety was when I figured out what my values were and then I started to live to them. And that was the first real moment I was like, oh, this makes sense. So if you're feeling lost or unsure, values is a thing. Again, you can probably Google like how to figure out my values. I'm sure Google would come up with some kind of informative thing. There's so much information out there. I spend half my time just researching things like, oh, like this morning, that's what I did this morning. I watched this fantastic video. I'll have to link it at the end. I'm actually just going to really quickly grab my notebook and read some of those quotes because I think it's quite beneficial to what we're talking about. Okay, so this is my journal. It's a bright yellow one. It makes me very happy. And I did a mind map yesterday. I was all over this yesterday. Anyway, so today I accidentally wrote 2020. I wrote June 16th, 2020. It's 2022. So let's adjust this. It's 2022. But I just wrote down a few things. The first one being anything we can do to reduce that worrying and self-doubt will free up more resources for the things you actually want to do. I was like, that makes so much sense. It takes so much energy when you're stressing and worrying about what's going to happen. But when you can learn to let that go, it means you have all this free mental space to be able to work on other things. The next thing was, and this works a lot with like a therapist, and this is exploring the fear, the shadow work, which is the parts you don't want to explore. It's the stuff about yourself that usually is probably around shame and things that are really uncomfortable and you don't want to face them. That stuff, that's like the game changer. That's the stuff I've been doing for the last 2 years, which I don't know if anyone has noticed, but I've pulled back a little on social media because I've just been digging through things and it's a lot. It's painful, it's messy, it's complicated, it's exhausting. So I'm not making it sound enticing, but it's a game changer as well. So essentially that is almost the opposite of positive thinking. When people are like, oh, just positive thinking, positive thoughts, it's actually doing the complete opposite and digging into the not so great stuff. And I can't remember the person that he quoted, but that person said, well, he believed if you didn't explore the entirety of your being, you can't live a full life. So not only going through the good things, but also the not so good things as well. Then the next thing I wrote was, unless you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate, which is a quote from Carl Gustav. I don't know if it's Jung or yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I was like, that's a great quote. And that's actually a perfect summary of everything I've been doing for the last 2 years and what is the driving force behind sitting down and doing this live right now. I wanted to start figuring out what's next after going inwards for 2 years. The next thing was live life with an open heart towards myself and others, despite the pull to go into autopilot mode or let fear take over, constantly making things harder for myself. And I was like, totally understand that. I pulled so many great quotes out of this guy's video. So when we've done the live, I will link it in the description. And then the last thing that I wrote down was others' actions are just a reflection of where they are in life. And he said to that basically to stop trying to take things so personally, which is another thing that I've also really learned a lot lately. So I just really resonated with that video. I was like, oh, this all makes so much sense. This is what I've been doing. And it all ties in to mental health. So that's where we're at. Living to them. I'm going to have to move this little post-it note over this way a little. Okay, so where are we at? Time management. Where does your time go? That often helps me see what is making me feel a bit down. Yeah, time management. Does that need to be a category all on its own? Like, is that such a dominant part of your life that that's something you should look into? I kind of think it is. Because it's not just work related, it's social, it's your downtime, it's your morning routine, it's your night routine. It's basically every aspect of your life that you could reevaluate about what you're spending your time with. I mean, you know, the time that you use commuting to work every day or whatever. I say that out loud, and as I say that, it makes it sound like I'm putting pressure on myself or someone else to utilize every spare second of your day. But I don't like that pressure. I don't like the pressure that sort of stuff brings. I think, if you want to spend your day scrolling, like your time commuting to work, like on the train scrolling Instagram, that's fantastic. I think that's great. I don't think anyone should feel bad about wanting to do that. If that's what you want to do, you do it. So I don't agree with that pressure to make sure you're using every spare second. But I do believe reevaluating your time is very important. Does that make sense where I was going with that? That was mostly just one of my problems. Someone says time management and I stress out. I project my own dissatisfaction with or dislike of people telling me I need to do things better. So I don't know. Management. If we ever do this again, I'm getting new post-it notes because I'm really sad that I have one blue one. Time management is self-care. I still have it as its own thing though. Can it be its own thing and then you can just, I'm moving morning routine, putting time management in here, moving this, and then I drew a line. I drew a line between time management and self-care because they're interconnected. We're making progress. This is so cool. Yeah, a lot of us waste our time on our phones, but I don't know. This is where I've been really torn lately. I like motivational content, but I also hate pressure. So how do you consume motivational content without it making you feel bad that you're not doing enough? And that's a balance that I'm trying to go with, which is why I say we don't have to have this figured out today. It's a process. We're just trying to get some new ideas. And if even one of you walk away today going, you know what, I think I'm going to reevaluate something, then this was a success, right? And I've got plenty to think about. So it's a success. Yeah, that's actually another thing too, is delegating with time. Oh, I wrecked some of my board. I've lost my train of thought. Anyways, time management's a whole thing. I think that stresses me out the most, to be honest, time management. So I'm not good with my time. The physical health one I find really interesting. I feel like I've been doing this type of content and this type of stuff on my channel and socials for so many years that I'm my default when I think of some of these areas is when I think physical health, for some reason I default to gym clothing, going to the gym, and green juice. And I feel like a few years ago, that was sort of the content that a lot of people would put out online. Sometimes people still do that now. And it's if you want to improve your health, which I made these videos, I made them, then do these 3 things. And I've just sort of learned that it is not that, it's a lot more complex, but it also can be very simple at the same time. But it's not just, if I get up and drink green juice every morning, my life is going to be magic. It's not like that. It's, I didn't finish spelling communication. It's more about finding what works for you. And again, I've done a lot in the last 2 years. I'm tired. One of the things that I used to do, particularly when I made those videos, is I would think to myself, with physical health, I have to get up and I have to go to the gym. and I have to do everything that I see online, I see on Pinterest, I see on Instagram of all these fitness or health people or people that are happy or whatever you want to call them. They'd be like, do these things. And I would try to do them. And then it might last a day or a week. And then it all just disappears because I learned that what works for one does not work for another. So I had to try and figure out and experiment in the last 2 years, especially with the lockdown. So that was a little hard, but try and figure out how do I want to include physical health? I like being active, but I hate going to the gym. So I've experimented with a lot of different types of fitness related things in the last couple of years. And there's some things that I really hate. There's some things that I will like for a month or two. But personally, I have to switch it up, right? Like I have to keep trying different things. And right now, my favorite thing as of this week is playing tennis and basketball at my friend's house, which we're doing again tomorrow morning. And then I have a pool. So I thought about this yesterday. I was like, maybe I want to do laps in the morning in summer. Sometimes I go to the gym and do the cross trainer, but I'm not particularly a weights person. And then I think before I was talking about maybe trying a sporting team thing. I like dance. That's another thing I've thought about. And also, I don't like yoga and like following a yoga session, tutorial thing, whatever. I just like stretching, and I do half dance, half stretching in my living room. And so I'm trying to think about how I write that down opposed to the old way I used to do things, the old, like have a green juice and go to the gym. No. So I'm like, how do I put that here in this little patch? I don't know. I gotta catch up on this little chat. If you guys are loving this live, and like once I've finished and it's on my channel, if you want to do this like every week, I'm down, because I love going live. I love being able to have a conversation. And I don't know if anyone has an area that we want to sit down and brainstorm again. Let's do another brainstorming live. If anyone wants some help with something, maybe we should do that. I love it. This is so much fun. Hiking with friends. I love that. I'm actually going to go for a walk this afternoon. I left at about 7 p.m. the other night and it was beautiful. Today is really hot. So I'm going to go to Staples because I now need more Post-it notes. So I'm going to walk to Staples, probably walk. I'm probably going to do like a 10-kilometer walk, I think, because I'm not particularly in a rush this evening. So I'm going to enjoy the beautiful weather of Toronto and go explore, see what the city has to offer. Shopping, it's walking and weight training in one. I love that. It takes a lot of effort to carry the bags. I'm curious, is there anyone else? I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way. But when it comes to physical health, it's just, do you feel demotivated? Or because when it comes to physical health, it takes time to see progress. And I kind of started a few years ago, and one of the things that actually made me a little more motivated is after a few months of doing more cardio related things, I was like, I can run. Like if I get into trouble and someone tries to attack me, I can actually maybe run away. And I was like, that's pretty motivating. So, but it's hard because it's one of those things that just takes time. And I'm just having a real hard time with it. I can see it there. It's on my pink. Like, give you guys another look into this. It's on the pink one here. It's really hard to kind of, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw a line between mental health and physical health, the same way with self-care and time management, because they are interconnected. I think sometimes you may struggle with your physical health because there's some underlying mental health issues that haven't been addressed, and as a result, you're doing things. I personally am trying to stop overeating. I love food a lot, and I sometimes eat until I feel sick because I just like this. If I go out to a restaurant and like this, restaurants always give you massive meals, right? and you have all this food in front of you, I can't stop eating. I love it so much, and I'm just like enjoying myself, so that if there's a big plate of food in front of me, I will keep eating, and then I will feel sick afterwards, and I'll be like, well, did I just waste the enjoyment of going to the restaurant for that nice meal because now I don't feel so great? That's one of my habits I have to break. That's not a good one. So I've been trying to ask for slightly less sometimes when I go to restaurants if I know what they're going to bring out, and just trying to remind myself, like, stop eating, otherwise you're going to ruin what you've just had. So for anyone that is just jumping in and is wondering what this live is for, I wanted to break down different areas of your life to try and sort of, reinvent yourself or make some changes, or just kind of have like a self check-in, I guess. That's probably another good thing. So this is the board that we've been working on. Had a lot of great input. This is fantastic. I have so many great ideas. Some of them we're connecting together. Some of them we're breaking down into other little things to focus on and think about and reevaluate. But I don't know if we're going to have a solution to everything this afternoon. I just wanted to at least make a start in thinking about what's next, right? Just wanted to get some help so I didn't have to do this alone, to start thinking about some areas in my life I could reevaluate. And now I feel like everybody wants to do lives every week, and I'm loving it because I love lives. So yeah, maybe we can do this every week, and you guys can maybe help me pick some topics, and we can start discussing them. And how nice is it having other people's thoughts and feelings on this, so you don't have to figure it out on your own? That's what I love about this. Let me see. I quit my job a long time. I quit my long-term job to take 1 year off to take care of my mental health. I honestly needed to step away from my job. Has this happened to you? Any advice? Absolutely. That is exactly why I'm sitting here making this. I didn't step away from my job entirely, but I did pull back from social media. If you've been following me for a while, you'll probably have noticed a bit of a shift in a lot of my content in the last 2 years. I've spent the last 2 years focusing on my mental health and working through things. And now I feel like I'm starting to come out the other side, and I'm ready to get back in and start, figuring out what's next. And that is why I'm sitting down right now doing all of this, because I'm like, okay, I've done all of this work in the last 2 years. Let's now figure out how I want to move forward, what areas of my life I want to change, what I'm loving, what needs to stay, what's working, and just kind of figure out how I want to take everything that I've learned and start implementing it into my life. So yes, essentially that is where I'm at in this entire life. So if you've missed anything, come back. I'm going to have the whole thing up on my channel, just as is. We're at just over an hour now, so I could literally sit here for 8 hours and do this, but I will at some point wrap it up. Maybe not just yet. I think we're still having a good conversation here. There's a few other areas I think we're going to talk about. Man, I've only hit half the topics so far. We've got a long way to go. We already did talk about location, so I might just write down just a couple things. Like, is there something you'd like to explore? And this one kind of tied in with a few people talking about their partners and moving, and maybe having a check-in with the significant other, make sure they're on the same page about where they're living and what's happening. So there's that one. We haven't really touched, we touched a little on career. I think a few people have wanted to change careers for me personally, because doing this is my job. This is actually, well, first of all, if you follow me on Instagram, and I mentioned this before, I'm in an experimental phase on Instagram. So I'm trying all new reels and stuff, trying to understand reels, because I've been doing this. my YouTube channel, this is the 11th year. And so when you have 11 years of doing something, I understand long format content. I understand like landscape, horizontal, like cameras. I understand how to put together a YouTube video. I understand how to create some kind of story within that. I don't understand short format vertical content at all. And the way that social media is shifting, I have to learn to figure it out. So I'm trying this week. I'm trying a lot. And you know what? Instagram is kind of freaking me out a little because I don't know what happened, but every single one of my reels from the last 4 days has blown up in the first like 15 minutes. And I'm like, maybe I'm doing something right. I don't know. So that's one part of me exploring and changing and doing something different in my career. And then also the other thing is literally this live. I love doing lives and I would love to try and do more content like this if you guys like it. If you don't like it, I won't do it, but I love it. So I'm just gonna, actually no, I'm gonna have to write that somewhere else. That word's too long for there. This applies to me, but you could write whatever words around the career thing. But I'm just in an experimental phase, so I'm trying new things. Let's catch up. So for the physical health, tracking what your training was. I think that's a good one. I'm going to put, how does it make you feel is probably the most important part. If you're busting your butt at the gym every day and you feel awful, what's the point? Find something that you actually enjoy. That's a really, really good one. I love that. Thank you. Personal development category, I don't really have that. We have self-care and mental health, similar. But if you want to throw down a personal development one, go nuts. Like you can recreate this now, later, whenever, put down whatever you want. I just thought it'd be fun to do this together and figure out some things. Jula says hobbies. So yeah, the blue one right in the middle here is our hobbies and creativity. That's really important. I learned this about 2 years ago. I didn't have hobbies. I spent 90% of my time working for like 7 to 8 years. And I was burnt out and I was exhausted and I never did anything for fun. Everything I did was like, I have to save this to put it on the internet. And that's really exhausting. So I have a few hobbies, but I want to explore more. So I'm going to just put off that, trying new things, if you don't have any, or reflecting. This is a good one. I just can't spell today. Reflecting on childhood hobbies. Like I said, with the netball and my reel that I did the other day, completely forgot that was something I enjoy and I had so much fun. So I'm going to spend more time playing basketball, maybe basketball, not really basketball because I can't play basketball, but just shooting hoops. That's what I'm going to spend more time doing because I enjoy it. Focus on personal relationships. That is not a category, but that actually should be one. That's got to be a category. What am I? 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6. Up to yellow. I have to have all the colors equal. Everything has to be evenly spaced. It's my thing. Relationships. That is. I've been doing this for an hour and we haven't even come up with that yet. Relationships. I can't spell and I need to write smaller to fit it on the post-it note. Okay. Now I'm going to have to do some rearranging because personal relationships ties in with mental health. If you're struggling in your relationships, you got to dig into mental health. So we're going to move brings joy and we're going to stick mental health relationships down here. Do a line here. Because I was saying this before about, this is starting to look like a really cool mind map. Communication. Oh, this is so cool. It's all coming together. What can I change? Let's put this. Oh, I've messed up the coloring of everything. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. This one we're going to put just here. I'm gonna put, some of these are getting close together. I'm running out of space. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Okay, let's check in a little with my new updated thing. So what I just did is I put mental health connected with relationships, with communication that I was talking about before, and like learning how to communicate, and it all ties in together, right? I love this. It gets really satisfying when you start making connections and it all starts to come together. This is like team effort, guys. This is not that great. I feel like I'm gonna have to put this on Instagram or something. So yeah, personal relationships, that's really good, because sometimes you got to let certain relationships go. Sometimes maybe you're being a bit of a people pleaser. Sometimes maybe you're the one who's taking too much, and all those things can be reevaluated, which is also something I've been working on a lot in the last year or so. I'm just being really fussy, and I'm gonna just like it when everything is evenly spaced out. So I'm gonna move this down a little. Rewrite this one. How does it make you feel? And then put this one here. And then I think that just is a little better spaced. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Oh, and then I gotta just redraw a line between physical health and mental health. It's all happening. Yeah, maybe I do need a second board. I'm running out of space. I'm sure there are many more areas, but we've covered almost most of them. I am starting to get my my brain is starting to make connections now, and I'm like, oh, okay, under morning routine, let's put down take pressure off, because there's nothing that drives me more insane than having to feel like you have to have a perfect morning routine. Relationships. I'm gonna write reevaluate. I'm gonna double check how to spell that one. Double E, right? Or is it a hyphen? It's hyphenated. It doesn't have to be hyphenated. It's fine. I spelled it right. Reevaluate and reflect on the way, nope, that's they. You are in relationships. I'm going to take a picture of this and just post it to the community tab of YouTube. So if anyone wants like a picture of this afterwards, we could do that. Yeah, creating a safe space, decluttering, and interior design. Yeah, that is a whole category that is actually very important to me. If my internal space, not internal, like my home space or my environment is off, I'm off. Which is why I love cleaning so much, because when I'm feeling out of control, it's one thing I can control, and it just makes me feel a little together. I will be saving this video, so don't worry, you can come and watch it at any point. I have to put environment. How am I gonna? We have way too many. This is great. So many ideas. Does anyone else have like ideas flowing? All right. I have to look at this like, I'm gonna stand up now. I'm trying to do this where I can like show you what I'm doing. Okay. Now, what can I do? Career, pressure, time management. 7. Okay, we're good. Uneven colors now. I'm gonna move this time management one because there's literally nothing really keeping it in its way. I'm gonna change this bit. This one here. Redraw this line. I think I'm gonna do slightly slightly thicker lines between like the major connecting ones so that they stand out a little bit better. 2, 3, 4. Environment. I'm going to write. This also somehow, dang it, this also connects with the appearance and the style on the other side. We're going to change it. Put the education on this side. And we will put the environment up here because it connects with appearance and style, because, you know, your environment is also about expressing yourself and the way, you know, through your space. You know, that's why people have posters. That's why people buy like figurines and artworks and stuff, because it's part of expressing who you are. So the question is, does your space suit you? Like, how, the major question I think in a lot of this is, how does it make you feel? You feel okay. So environment to appearance, physical health, dinner, joy. Under the whole what brings you joy category, I think I'm going to put in, what did we call it? Like a happiness tracker, or a take note. Let's write that. Take note of things that make you happy. I'm just going to write journal. Because like journaling about that would be a good idea, like having a diary to track it in of some kinds. I might just write. Actually, oh, this is all coming together so well. Diary can work both and for all. Brings you joy, physical health, and I hate the way that I just drew that. I'm making so much progress today. Look at this board. Is this not coming, like, this is not the most satisfying thing ever. You get all these areas, questions to ask yourself, everything. I gotta catch up on the chat for a second. Environment, what are we saying? I hate the word declutter too, because I did that for so much time, like in my videos, but I'm going to put it down anyway, because I think decluttering is just another kind of way for reevaluating. Declutter. All right, social life improvements, adjustments. Let's throw social life under relationships. That comes into there. And how to make, let's look at making new friends, and looking into ways, and hang on, I'm gonna have to get rid of this one. Be like re-evaluate current relationships. And oh no, I just lost my train of thought. Build deeper connections. That's something I did with a lot of my relationships in the last 2 years. Changed everything. I have the most amazing, like, deep emotional connections with all of my friends and my family. One of the things, I have to write this down. So one of the things that all of my friends and I started to do in the last 2 years is we tell each other we love each other. Like, all of them. It'll just be like, love you, and like, it every single time we go to get a phone or we depart and we go somewhere else, we always tell each other how much we love each other. And that is wild to me, because saying I love you wasn't really a thing in my family. Like, that's not how we expressed our love for each other. So now we do, even with my mom now, it's all completely changed. And I do it with everybody, and everybody does it with me, and it's amazing. So I'm going to write develop deeper connections. And and just throw it out there and say I love you, because it makes me feel warm and fuzzy when we do that to each other. It just makes me feel like, oh, special. I love that. Okay. Man, we are making some serious progress. Haven't really put anything down on the finance side. I feel like finance is a really difficult thing. And also the education side, like a new degree. This actually totally ties in with hobbies. So I'm gonna make it really long. This might make it really ugly. I don't want my board to be ugly. It's a little ugly. Like books, short courses, just all things that we can think about. Anyone got any suggestions for finance? I'm not. Maybe actually tracking spending. Actually, this is probably a really, really good one right now. With inflation and everything, and mind you, I may not know exactly what I'm talking about, but a conversation that's come up between a lot of my friends and I is we've noticed how expensive things are. You go to the grocery store and you buy like 3 things and it's like $25. And you're like, but how? Like today I went to Janelle's house and we bought milk and it was like $6 for milk. And it just, things are just getting out of hand. I've noticed that when I buy groceries, the prices increase. I can't take Ubers anymore. Ubers here are like $40 to go a couple of kilometers. It's not worth it. You better walk or just take public transport. So tracking, I think, is a really good one. And maybe thinking about I don't know if the word's cutbacks, but just like, do you know what I mean? Like shifting. You know what I mean? Like shifting. I don't know. Shifting your expenses. I'm going to write that down. Shifting expenses. And maybe start looking into long-term stuff a little bit more as well. Yeah, definitely did not spell that right this time. I hate the chunky lines. I have to redo it. I'm going to make arrows. I'm going to do arrows. Oh, that's so much more satisfying. Arrows between all the connecting dots and pieces. This one. I feel like I can't just draw this now. Like I think I just have to keep this whiteboard this way forever. It's far too satisfying. I think we're good. I think that's almost like a little bit on every single topic, almost. Haven't really covered the fashion and the appearance and style, but I think I'm just going to write experimentation with, like I did the other day, experimenting with new looks, because I did it and it was really, really fun. I hate that. Now I'm just getting really particular about where everything is like situated. Make you feel. That's a terrible question mark. This one, and then I'm so close to being done. I think. Well, for now, experiment with new. I think we're done. I'm just going to go through the chat again. We've got some people talking about their stories, about making friends as an adult. If you live in a new city, try and find other people that are also not from that city, because that's how I made all of my friends here in Toronto. Our whole friend group is from somewhere else. We've got a bunch of guys from Winnipeg, got friends from Montreal, like way out on the East Coast. There's me from not here, and just everyone I know is not originally from Toronto, and it's great. Like, we all can bond over the fact that we're not from here. And I find that to be really easy. If you already live in the city, I think the hardest part is to just put yourself out there and just ask to hang out with someone. The worst they're going to say is no. Yeah, that's like not the greatest feeling, but it's honestly the only way, is to just message someone, be like, let's hang out, let's get a coffee, get lunch, get dinner, whatever. It's the easiest way. Yeah, long-term, short-term goals for the finance. That's all great. Let me keep going. $12 for an iceberg lettuce in Melbourne? Are you insane? That's usually $2. And I thought $4 or $3.50 for an iceberg lettuce here was ridiculous. Cheese here is really expensive. It's not that expensive in Australia, but cheese is very expensive. Toilet paper, garbage bags, all of those household items are very expensive here in Canada compared to Melbourne. Keep tab on how much you spend on essentials, blah, blah, keeping budget. Yep, I think we're all covered. Okay, I think I'm gonna show you guys where we're at. I feel like we've made some progress. We've all got some like ideas and things to think about. I know that this is, as I said, this is a work in progress. This is going to take a while for us all to figure out if you're on the same page as me, but isn't it beautiful? Isn't this just magical? What is this one? This is career. We didn't really write a lot for career, but it's fine. I wrote experiment because I'm in the experimental phase, but I just feel like I need to add something else onto like the career section. Career. I'm going with, what do I feel like a lot of you have said? Like, I know what to do. Seeing what else is out there. I know some people, some of my friends have had a little bit of a taste into possibly a different job, and now they're like, yep, I am going to just see what's out there, see what else is around. Experiment. I didn't fix up the morning routine one, actually. We're a little over here. For core habits. Take the pressure off yourself, and also I have to rewrite that because okay, I think we're almost done. Guys. Take the pressure off yourself for morning routines. And then, because education connects with your career, new degree, see what else is out there. Extend your education. Just, what's the word I'm trying to search for? Like a try. Just keyword being try. Okay, I think we're done, and I think it looks magical, and it satisfies both the need for wanting to get some ideas, but also my creative side where everything seems evenly placed and everything just makes sense, except there's 3 yellow ones here and 3 pink ones down there. I don't like that, but other than that, it looks fabulous. And I just got to get these post-it notes to stick properly. But here we are. Does anybody else feel like they've got some inspiration from this? They've got some ideas, some things that they want to work on? Because I feel like I've got a lot of information here to think about all the different areas and things I can reevaluate and what I want to do. And I just feel a lot better now having a bit of a direction. Ooh, I just missed one of my arrow ones. Fix this one and then this one. Put a little arrow in there like that. It's amazing. Declutter doesn't make me happy. Yeah, I feel like it's all coming together. Do we love it? Do we hate it? Was this fun? Should I do more lives like this? Pick another topic. We can do another brainstorming session. I feel like this would be fun. Anybody need any help with anything that they want everybody's opinion on? I feel like this would be fun. Is everybody feeling inspired? Because that was the point of this. I was like, I want to sit down and like run through some things, get some ideas, and maybe be a little inspired to work on different areas of my life and figure out what's next for me, especially after 2 years of doing a lot of deep mental work. I feel like I'm ready to move on to whatever's next. And I have no idea what that is still, but I feel like this was helpful. I think this has been like very therapeutic, very relaxing, very creative. And it's been so much fun having this discussion with you guys. So yeah, as I said, if this is something, I'm sorry I haven't been looking at the camera. I've been looking at my computer screen, but my camera's up there. I've had so much fun. And this is something I would love to do again, like every week, every other week or something like that. Let me know what other topics or things you'd want to discuss, get other people's opinions. Like, you know, this has been really fun. So thank you all for joining and for helping me through all of this. I will, as I said, post a picture over on the community tab on YouTube. I'll probably throw it up in my Instagram stories this afternoon as well, because this is really cool. Like, this is cool. And I want to share this because I'm real proud of it. I'm proud that we all did this together. This was awesome. But yeah, this has been an hour and a half. I hope that anyone who's watching this in the future is going to sit through an hour and a half of us doing this. I don't know. But yeah, this was really, really awesome. So I hope you guys all have a great evening, morning, day, night, wherever it is that you are. Thank you for sharing this with me. And let's do this again soon, because this was really, really fun. And I have videos coming. I'm editing. It's just been a bit hard to get back into work after being away. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining. I've had so much fun. I'm going to wrap this all up here. As I said, I'll leave pictures, whatever. This will stay on my channel. You can come back, reference this at any point. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you all very, very shortly. If you want to see the weird stuff I've been doing on Instagram, feel free to go to that. And yeah, I'll see you all very, very soon.